What do you think? What do you see? Paint me a picture, tell me your dreams. There are so many things you can see and do. Deedle doors are waiting here for you. Come on in through Deedle doors.
Hello everyone, my name is Alicia and we're from Deedle Doors. Today we're going to meet with Chris Wilson, who is the head director of the equestrian program here at Greenfield Village. And this to my left is... Lauren. Greg. And today we're going to go meet with him. As a matter of fact, we are just by the William Ford barn right now. And this is where Chris works. So he said if we wanted, we could stop in and find out a little bit about horses today. Sounds like a good idea?
Yeah.
Let's go. Hey, Chris, you in here?
Yeah.
Come on in.
Hi, Alicia. How are you today?
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having us. This right here is one of our Deedle kids. This is...
Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
And this is...
Greg.
Hi, Greg. How are you today?
Good.
Good.
And now I know I've botched your title up 1,000 times, and
I'm the equestrian programs leader out here, which means I take care of the program that revolves around our horses. And we have about 12 horses here in Greenfield Village.
Oh, wow. This is one of them, I take it?
Yeah, Pepe's just saying hello.
Hello.
Pepe is 14 years old, and he's our smallest horse here in the village, even though he's pretty big.
Wow.
He weighs about 1,400 pounds, but that's quite a bit less than some of the other ones that we'll meet in a little while.
Well, hello, Pepe. This horse is older than you guys. My goodness. You are so pretty.
We've just been getting Pepe groomed up today, which means to brush him and to curry or comb his coat and get all the dirt and loose hair off of it. Just like if you guys have a dog at home or a cat, sometimes you have to brush their fur, as well as brushing our own hair. It's the same kind of thing, except he's got it all over his body. So we have lots of different tools out here to do this,
wow.
different brushes and combs. You guys can take a look at some of them. Yeah, you're looking at one there.
This looks like it's gotta hurt. This is gonna hurt.
That's called a curry comb. And while it might hurt us if we ran it over our skin, horses have quite a bit tougher skin than us, and they have fur or hair all over it. So it doesn't hurt them, but it helps to get the loose hair and the dirt off of them. They get pretty muddy and dirty when they get out in the paddocks and pastures.
Okay.
Sounds good. I'm going to take the plastic one. This one looks like it doesn't hurt too much.
Okay.
We don't want to hurt you, baby.
You just kind of want to go along the grain of his, the way his hair grows, and get him nice and clean. We use the different brushes for different purposes. I'll use this coarse brush up on his mane and brush that. And we can also use the coarser brushes on the main part of his body.
What kind of type is this?
What type of horse is he? Pepe is a Morgan crossed with a Percheron. Two different types of horses crossed together to get a horse that's about this size. Now, these other horses that you see around the barn are Percheron draft horses. They came from France, and they're big, heavy horses for pulling lots and lots of weight.
And you are so pretty. What are some of the duties that these horses here at Greenfield Village are used for?
Well, their main purpose is to pull the carriages and wagons and farm equipment here in the village. So they're mainly used for pulling things. Pepe is also a horse that can be ridden. A horse like this, especially 100 years ago when horses were really important in the United States, you wanted a horse on your farm that you could do a lot of things with. You could have him pull your carriage if you were going to town or to church. You could pull a plow in your field and put your crops in. You could pull one of your heavy wagons, and you could also ride him if you needed to get around. Heavy work, and these type of horses 100 years ago outnumbered all other types of horses combined in the United States, and they did all the heavy work, like everything that a truck or a tractor would do today would be done by a horse like the groom in.
What's in his mouth?
What's in his mouth? Well, right now, nothing. Just his teeth. You can open it up a little bit. You can see his front teeth right there. Those are his incisors. That's what he would use to bite off the grass when he's eating it. And then you can see where I'm putting my hand right now. There aren't any teeth. That's why he's not biting me. He doesn't have any teeth right there, but he has teeth that go way back up in here. The molars, just like we have in our mouths, to grind up the food. But the fact that horses don't have teeth there really helped people out when they started working with horses and trying to get horses to do work for them, because people eventually invented what's called a bit.
A bit, I know that.
And this is a bit, and this would go inside the horse's mouth, be attached to a bridle, which is a leather piece of equipment, kind of like this halter, but it would be attached to the bridle. And then your reins, your lines, would attach to this. Now, see, I'm putting it in front of his face, so he thinks he's going to put this bit in his mouth. He might do it for me, even though it doesn't have a bridle on it. And it would just, well, he's not going to. We'll put it. Nope. We'll put the bridle on him in a little bit. But the bit would fit right in there. And when the pressure, when a line or a rein, piece of leather that's attached to the bit, pulls on this side, pulls on this corner of his mouth, and he knows he needs to go that way. And if we pull on the other side, he knows he needs to go the other way. We were talking about the hoof pick and his feet. Let me pick one of his feet up. And you guys can see here that he's got a horseshoe, piece of metal, attached to his foot. And can you see how it's attached?
You see?
How is that attached to his foot? What do those look like?
Bolts.
Nails.
Nails.
Nails, right. Now, you guys have shoes on, but you don't have them nailed on, right?
No.
Well, horses' feet, horses' hooves, are made up of the same material as our fingernails. So just like when you cut off the tip of your fingernails, it doesn't hurt, right?
Sometimes.
If you cut too far. If you cut too far, right. But if you don't, it doesn't hurt. And so the farrier, that's the person that puts the shoes on, makes the shoes and puts them on the horses, is able to nail right through to at the edge of this hoof and attach the horseshoe. And if a nail were to go into this area, it'd be just like if we cut our fingernails too close, it would hurt.
Ouch.
So we don't want that to happen. So farriers are very skilled people, and they make sure that they do it correctly. But what this shoe does for the hoof is protects it. Just like our feet, if you were walking on lots of rocks, it would kind of hurt your feet, right? Yeah. Yep. So same with the horses. If they were walking on a paved road, like we have out here in in Greenfield Village, eventually that would start to wear their feet down, and it would hurt. It'd be just like if you took your fingernails and rubbed them on concrete or something really hard. Eventually that'd start to hurt, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with the horses. So we have to have these shoes put on. But their feet are always growing, just like our fingernails. So they have to be trimmed, and then the shoe has to be reset about every 6 weeks or so.
Great.
Let me show you the next thing that we'll do with Peppy. Show you how we would get him to do work for us. Now, this is called his collar. Where does a dog's collar go?
On his neck.
Around
His
the
neck. The same thing
big
with
collar.
same thing with a horse collar. Why don't I have both of you hold on to this? It's kind of heavy.
Okay. Got it?
Yes.
And what we're going to do is take Peppy's cross ties off, and I'm going to have one of you come on this side right here, and one of you come on the other, and then lift it way up high.
Nope, almost.
There we go. We'll put it right over his head, and then buckle it.
Woo! Hey,
This
Peppy.
is the first step to getting his harness on. Put him back in his cross ties.
Well, hello. Here we go. We'll
Yeah,
grab this
just
one.
grab that other one for me. You can clip it right to that side of his halter.
You gotta come closer, baby doll. Nope. Am I doing something wrong? There
There you go.
There we go.
Good job. Okay, so now you can see that this collar is fitting right around his neck and right on his shoulders. And that's going to be really important later. Remember when we were brushing him, it's very important when you're working with a horse with a harness and a collar like this to make sure he's very clean right here, so that when the collar sits there, there's no dirt or rocks or loose hair that can rub underneath his collar and give him a sore. Okay. So our next part is to put the actual harness on.
Oh my.
Now this is kind of heavy, so I'm going to pick it up myself.
There we go.
And right now it probably just looks like a whole bunch of leather and metal and wood, huh? Doesn't really make much sense. And when I first started harnessing horses, it didn't make much sense to me either. But after you work with them a long time, this you understand what each leather strap and each piece of metal on this does, and they're all for a purpose to help us harness the horse's energy to help us do work. I'm going to take it right over to the other side here, and just stand back a little bit.
Okay.
The straps will fly as I start to put it on. I'm going to put this
Hey, Greg.
right over his
Here
collar.
we go. You can help us over here.
You can just kind of hang on to that piece of wood, which is called a hame. And watch yourselves as this comes over.
Sorry there, buddy. Here we go.
Stay
Ooh.
steady.
Set right up there. And then come on back to the front. Come on right around the
Go
front
on up
now.
the front.
Now, first step in getting the harness attached to the horse is
What a
buckle our
contraption.
hames. And see this buckle right here, it's going to take these hames, these pieces of wood, and attach it very tightly around the collar.
Now, this is used when they're going to be used in the field and the
Right,
pastures.
if we were going to have him pull a wagon
Okay.
or pull a plow at our farm, the Firestone Farm, or do any work like that, he would need this type of harness on. There's other types of harness for smaller vehicles, and then of course there's saddles if you're going to ride him. Again, Peppy is a horse that does a lot of different types of work here. I'm going to pull this back here, and I'll let you guys buckle all the other straps. Okay.
See, it still looks like a big jumble of leather and metal to me.
Well, we'll explain how it works in just a second. So why don't I have one of you, you really do everything when you're working with horses from one side. He's used to having everything done from this side. So let's have you take this breast clip, just unattach that from that ring right there. There you go. And then now you're going to take this across, and there's another ring right on the other side, right here, and I attach it to that. Just kind of push it on there.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Now, Lauren, why don't you hand this back to Greg, right between his front legs.
There you go.
And then, Greg, you're going to take this strap and clip it to there. So let's flip it over like that. Okay. Now there's another strap. Can you reach over and grab that one? There.
This
Alicia
one?
will hand it to
There
you.
you go.
You're going to attach this one to there too. Just reach right up. This will have to kind of stretch.
There we go. Let's see if we can. There we go.
Okay, now the last thing is take this strap, and you're going to buckle this one just like a belt. Yeah,
Okay.
just like to that. So now that we've got his harness on, let me try to explain how it works. Okay, notice this strap of leather, this goes all the way up to, what do we call this again, around his neck?
The collar.
This collar, right. So this goes all the way up to there. Now, Greg, let me have you hang on to
Greg?
this. This is called a trace. Some people call it a tug. Now, what would happen if Peppy started going forward now? If Greg was holding on to that? What's going to happen to Greg? Greg, what's going to happen to you?
I'm going to be flying all over.
That would not be fun.
You're going to be pulled forward. So that's how the harness works. He pushes, so when horses are pulling, they're really pushing into their collar, and then we attach whatever we want him to pull back there to those traces, and then that pulls him along.
You think he'll be able to pull you, Greg?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I definitely think so.
Okay, so now, see, look, there's also a strap right back here around his back legs. And we remember when we attach these straps underneath, they all end up attaching to this or pulling against this clip in the front.
Okay.
And we'd attach something to that. Now, what if he was to back up now and I was holding onto this? What's going to happen to me?
You get like pulled.
I get
I
pulled
think he's gonna be
backwards,
hurt.
right.
What do they eat?
What do they eat? That's another good question. Let's come back around to the other side and we can show. what it is that they eat. Now, what do you think? What do you call this?
Hay.
Hay.
Hay, right. What is hay?
It's like straw. Like
It's sort of like straw, but really it's what it is just grass. If we let the horses go out on the lawn like they're right there, they'd like to eat the grass,
down
right?
grass.
But this is grass that's been dried. Since it gets cold in the wintertime and the grass doesn't grow, farmers who have horses or cattle or anything that eats grass have to cut it in the summertime and then they dry it. Feel how it's nice and dry, but it's also still green. So farmers will cut the grass and let it dry, and then the horses can eat that any time of the year. What you usually feed horses is hay and oats, and then lots of water.
Horses don't eat meat, do
How
they?
did they get water? I see no water around here.
We have water back at the front of the barn there, and we have some water troughs outside. So they don't have water right in their stalls. That's where they sleep, and then they come out to drink and eat outside of their stalls.
Do they sleep do they stand and sleep, or do they lay down?
They do both. If you come here late at night when the horses are all asleep, most of them will be lying down in their stalls. That's why we have a lot of straw in their stalls for them to lie on. But they also can kind of doze while they're standing up.
Oh.
A lot of people think that horses don't lie down at all, but most horses lie down most of the time that they sleep.
What about hooking one of these horses up to a carriage?
Yeah,
we try that maybe outside?
Yeah, let's do
And
that.
then also, I remember you were telling me earlier that there was a parade that goes on here at Greenfield Village. And maybe we can be some guests in the parade? Well, guys, Chris told us to wait over here, and he's going to come around with two of the horses named Noah and Webster, and we're going to hook it up to this wagon that we have right here. And then maybe we can take a ride later in it. We'll ask him. We'll see what he has to say. And actually, look who's coming around the corner right now. I think Noah's the one on the left. He looks like a Noah. What do you think? Well, hello, babies. How beautiful.
Well, here we are again. It's Noah and Webster this time. And we're just going to hook up to the hay wagon right here.
Oh my, well, you know what? Let's get out of the way so we don't want to be trampled by Noah and Webster here. There we go. Now, these are a lot bigger than Pepe?
Then Peppy, yeah,
Peppy.
they're quite a bit bigger than Peppy. Alicia, can I have you hold on to this line right here?
Sounds good.
And what I'm going to do now is hook up the front of the horses, their breast straps to the chains on the front of the wagon. That's going to allow them to back the wagon up.
Okay.
Okay, now that we're all hitched up, why don't we hop in and we'll ride over to where the parade starts. Remember, we have a parade in Greenfield Village every day, and you guys are going to get to ride in it.
All right. Sounds like fun. Let's go. Okay.